What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday, almost the end of the week. This post I'm going to talk about just something that happened to me over the weekend, the long weekend. Something I've heard several times before. So just want to talk about it now because it's, about aging. So somebody a long time ago said I was in my 20s, they were in their 30s, and they're like, hey, wait till you hit my age, right? You look like me. I was like, okay. So I was like, they probably know what they're talking about, right? So at the time I wasn't, as smart and wasn't as wise. So now I'm in my 30s, I'm 32. We're at this party, pool party, had my shirt off. Somebody in their 40s, I think he was 43, 44, said, wait till you hit my age. And I was just thinking, and what? Yeah, I was like, when I hit your age, I plan to look the same, if not better, right? Because I'm going to learn more. I'm going to know more by then. I'm going to be more disciplined. But that's my goal, to look the same, if not better, in 10 years from now. And he kind of proceeded. We kind of went back and forth a little bit, but it was just like, once you get to my age, your metabolism slows down and you can't do as much. And that's why you look like me. So I wanted to post this kind of off that, little conversation with that guy, because although there's some truth, so as you age, your metabolic process does slow down, right? Neurological changes happen, muscle tissue lowers. So there is some truth to that for sure. So I'm not denying that, but it's not nearly as much as we think. So, and you can go into that calculator that I shared the one time and look at this. So every 10 years that you age, for a 6-foot male that weighs 200 pounds, it slows down by 50 to 60 calories. That's literally nothing. So from 20 to 30, it's 55. From 30 to 40, it's 55. From 40 to 50 and 50 to 60, 55 calories. So if you're a little heavier, you're talking anywhere from 50 to 100 calories every 10 years. So yes, it slows down, but not significantly once we hit our 20s. So if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and we're using that as an excuse, it's time to stop, because that's not the excuse. We look the way we do, we feel the way we feel. It's more than likely the actions we are taking. So the other two factors, so one, yes, it does slow down a little bit. The other two is we lose muscle mass because we don't resistance train and we don't do things to hold on to muscle mass, and we're doing and eating things to put on more fat. So our lean muscle mass is significantly lower as we age because of the decisions we make. And the third thing is that as we age, muscle tissue drops. Also, the last thing that drops is activity level, right? So we're less active, and that has nothing to do with, being older. It's everything to do with that we are less active by nature. We sit at computers, we do more screen time, we have iPads, we have iPhones, we have computers, we have TVs, we have everything's done by a monitor, so we're less and less active. So that has to do with us deciding that and choosing to be less active rather than doing work. So what I'm hoping you to take away from this video is just to give you a few tips to kind of open you up to, hey, just because you're 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 doesn't mean that you have to be overweight or not like the way you feel, not like the way you look, and not have energy, because there's people flourishing in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So instead of saying like, I wish they were them, or I'm lucky to be them, or they're so lucky because they get away with X, a lot of times is they've deserved that, or they've earned that right. If you hold a lot of lean muscle mass, you can eat more calories, you burn more at rest. That's just a fact. So if you're a 200-pound male and you have 180 pounds of lean muscle mass, you're going to burn significantly more calories than the person who weighs 2 pounds of lean muscle mass. So that's just the way it works. That's the way it goes. So a lot of that we make the decisions to do. So here are some 5 quick tips to really help you. So you got to dial in first and just say, hey, you know what? Age doesn't matter. It's time for me to take care of this. So the first one is resistance training. You need to do some sort of resistance training. Oh, my internet's not doing too hot here. All right, so do some sort of resistance training. Hopefully that's better. So resistance training is number 1, whether it's bands or weights, free weights, dumbbells, kettlebells, do some sort of resistance training. Follow a program that's periodized and has unloading weeks, loading weeks, progressive overload. So follow a plan that actually knows what they're doing and to put lean muscle mass on, because it's possible at any age. That's why osteoporosis is so high in our country too, because we just stop doing everything. Once we hit 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we just stop. So resistance training is huge. It doesn't have to be weight. It can be bands. We need some sort of resistance. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 would be eat more nutritional foods, right? So, and eat more of them. So a lot of times when we lower our BMR at rest, I talk about this a lot, is because we're not eating enough. So again, that 200-pound male should be eating between 2,500 and 3,000 calories. maybe even more depending on their physical activity. But a lot of people I talk to, that 200-pound male is eating like 1,500 calories, always trying to lose weight, and they've messed with their metabolism. So number 2 is eat more nutrient-dense foods, boost metabolism so you can afford more calories. That will also help, aging and losing weight as we get older. Number 3 would be drink water, tea, and coffee, right? So get rid of the sodas, get rid of all the bullshit we drink. If it's easier said than done, but get rid of some of the alcohol, drink less of that. Unsweetened tea, black coffee, water, those are the best liquids if we're looking to not age. Number 4, so there's, again, these 5 are in no particular order, just 5 things that have really helped. Another one is sleep. So sleeping really good. That's going to help anti-aging. So 7 to 9 hours is the new study. It used to be like 8 to 10. We're now noticing that the more quality of sleep over, the more quality of sleep over the quantity is way better than just getting like 8 to 10 hours. So if you get good 6-7 hours, that's really good, rather than like 8 to 10 or 9 to 11 hours of unbroken sleep. So those are always really good tips. I told you to give you 5, and I'm blanking on what I had written down as the 5th one here. So I'll recap here. So 1, definitely resistance training. That's the biggest thing, right? So you have to resistance train to offset and to keep more lean muscle mass. 2, you have to drink water, tea, not have all these liquid drinks. 3, you also have to have nutritional foods. 4 is you want to sleep better. And 5, the last one, is be more active, right? So even if we have that job, like do things like I'll take my client calls and I'll go on a walk. A lot of us are on Zoom calls now. So take your phone and go for a walk on that Zoom call. Do things that were more active. Be active with your kids. So get at least 60 minutes of activity a day, so we're not just sitting down all day long. So being more active, that attributed to, why people are getting overweight and why our metabolism is slowing down as we age. So that's something, just be more active. And it could be just as simple as walking 30 to 60 minutes. Start there. If that gets too easy, you can start on like walking on an incline, walking on hills, doing a little bit of intervals. So interval training, start running. That stuff will help as well. So be active. Those are my 5 tips. Hope that makes sense, and hopefully you can kind of relate to that, because most people listening have heard that guy or that girl say, "Oh, when you hit my age." Well, now I'm at the age that the first guy said, and pretty soon I'll be at the age that the second guy said, and I'll still be standing here saying the same thing. So don't use that as an excuse. Instead, start focusing in, start honing in on your nutrition. If you need help, just shoot me a message. I'd be glad enough to help you. Have a good day, guys. Talk to you later.